Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining me once again today. Welcome back to Dominions 5, but not the normal Dominions 5 game. Welcome back to a very silly Dominions 5 special event. This is the Punch Wizard Tournament. This spawned actually out of a ridiculous conversation on Discord one day that became very much too serious. But we have what we're doing today is we're taking a look at a special little part of Dominions 5. One of the spells that doesn't get a lot of attention, even though it seems very kind of thematic and cool, and that spell, of course, is Farstrike. We were discussing this spell one day a couple of weeks ago in the Land of Confusion, or the Discord server, and nobody ever casts Farstrike. It's a long-range spell, has range 50. It does quite a bit of damage, actually, but it's single target, and it costs almost no fatigue. But it's single target, it's not a guaranteed kill, it can miss, it's not a very powerful spell. But for the really discerning wizard duelist, for the magician who wants to, above all, prove his own superiority over his alleged peers, I just really think there's no substitute for the sheer visceral satisfaction of casting a spell that lets you open a portal next to their face and just reach through and smack the hell out of them. And that's what Farstrike does. So today, we are answering the age-old question. Well, today and in a couple of future videos, we are answering the age-old question, who is the one and only real Punch Wizard? To do that, we have arranged the Punch Wizard Tournament. So several victims have signed up. They have created teams of wizards who will be participating in this punchy madness under a set of fairly stringent, albeit not entirely restrictive rules. Let's go through the rules real quick. So every player must assemble a wizard or a team of wizards. Only wizards are permitted, so no units and no commanders without magic paths. Every team member must either have the Earth Astral Crosspath, ES, or be a dedicated Communion Slave, meaning they must have the Communion Slave trait natively without an item. There's actually only one mage in the game that qualifies for that. That's the Shackled Mage of Phlegra. All team members must be recruitable, summons are not allowed. The team may not exceed 850 gold cost. That is the gold cost of the most expensive recruitable Earth Astral Wizard, which is the Royal Malki of Middle Age Nazca. The players may script their wizards, but only Farstrike and spells which directly enhance Farstrike are permitted, which means you can script Farstrike, you can script spells which buff your Earth Paths, you can script spells that enhance your Strength, spells that enhance your precision, and Communion Slave and Master. The general order must be cast spells, because, after all, these wizards are not savages. They're not going to just resort to brute physical combat. This is a competition of magic. Admittedly, magic punching, but magic nonetheless. They can buy gems at a rate of 20 gold per gem, which counts against their team cost, and they can buy blood slaves at a cost of 10 gold per blood slave. Gems can either be taken into the tournament, or they can be spent pre-battle to purchase items for the wizard. Items which summon units, or items which cast spells other than Farstrike are banned. And then obviously between each round, the competitors will reload. The teams will be reset, so anyone who died in the previous round will be brought back for a second round. Anyone who, any gems that were spent will be brought back. Any items that were lost with dead mages will be returned when the mage is returned. So everything resets between rounds. And yeah, we're gonna hop on into this. This is just a little silly thing. I kind of enjoy doing silly stuff like this sometimes. As you can see, we've got 5 matches teed up. I'm only gonna do 3 of them today. This is gonna be a fairly short video, and then we'll go into the matches 4 and 5 later on. Then after that, we'll reset the brackets, and we will move into round 2 of the tournament. But so we had actually 11 teams sign up. So Orochi's team, Nature Buffs boost Strength. Broken 25 teams and versus Broken 25's team, the Bird Lovers. That is match 1 of the Punch Wizard Tournament, round 1. One team will be receiving a bye in round 1. Sir Dong Knights, Colonel Sanders' Geriatric Hit Squad, will be receiving a bye because we have 5 matches, 10 teams. The 11th team, of course, just kind of moves on in. And, yeah, let's see how it goes. So what I've done here is I have set up, using the debug mod and the arena map. So here we have Orochi's team, Nature Buffs boost strength, waiting in the land arena, and the enemy team, Broken 25's Bird Lovers, will be coming from Celeria to attack them. So let's take a look at the team, shall we? Nature Buffs boost strength consists of 1 Nagarishi, carrying 2 Nature Gems. Consists of 1 Communion Master Magus, 1 Communion Master Imperial Geomancer, and then 5 Communion Slave Geomancers. I'm sorry, 4 Communion Slave Geomancers. So yeah, so total of 4 Communion Slaves, 1 Master, 1 Magus, 1 Nagarishi. The Nagarishi is scripted to Communion Master, Strength of Gaia, which is a fascinatingly powerful buff that does qualify because it boosts strength. It also gives regeneration and bark skin to not only Anukakra here, but also all 4 of the Communion Slaves. Anukakra then goes on to cast Army of Giants, which enlarges everyone on his side, or, well, has an area of effect 10. So it enlarges everyone close to the caster, or within that, close to the cast point, and gives them extra HP, extra strength, and, of course, +1 size. So, again, legal, because it increases strength. And then cast Far Strike twice. Over here we have Hermable summoning Earth Power and casting Far Strike, and Kyunyu is summoning Earth Power and casting Far Strike. So they're all set up. They have not been... I was not told to put them anywhere specific on the battlefield, so they are just standing in a blob in the middle of the field, which should mean that Strength of Gaia, that Army of Giants, sorry, Strength of Gaia will definitely hit the caster, but Army of Giants should hit everyone else in the army. On the other side, then, we have the Bird Lovers. And the Bird Lovers are a very, very simple team. The Bird Lovers are a Koya with a Girdle of Might and a Pendant of Luck, which means 75% chance to survive any fatal blow. Backed up by 2 Crystal Mages. And what's interesting about this is this team is actually not scripted in any way. Broken 25 did not tell me to script them particularly beyond these basic buffs. They're all summoning Earth Power, and Hintal here is casting Strength of Giants, which will increase everyone's strength. No Far Strikes are scripted, which means that, because they are on the general cast spells order, these guys will just cast whatever spells they want. They will not necessarily cast Far Strike. This is legal. I could have made this more restrictive, but I decided to allow this to happen. So, the mages are going to go off script, and once they're off script, they're going to cast whatever seems best to them. It's very likely with Earth Astral Mages that they will cast Gifts from Heaven. They will start dropping meteors on people. It's also very likely with a Death 2 Mage that Koramishe the Koya will start casting Horde of Skeletons. Will start summoning skeletons to run forward and attempt to assault the other team with their bony limbs and or weapons. Which, you know, sort of breaking the spirit of the thing, but I guess that's a kind of punch, right? Skeletons are like punching. So let's see. Let's see who will be the true punch master out of these 2 teams, shall we? Let us host. Alright, there was a battle in Land Arena, and let us view that battle, shall we? So, on the left side, we've got the Bird Lovers. On the right side, we have Nature Buffs boost strength. Let's actually turn on the grid. They should be within range, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 40. Yeah, they are just within range. Far Strike is a very, very long-range spell. So let's see how it goes. We're getting some communioning happening over there. Getting some Earth Power summoned. Body Ethereal, Strength of Gaia. Lots of Body Ethereal getting cast. There goes the Strength of Giants. So these Crystal Mages are up to Strength 13, and they are etherealized. Up, we're raising the dead. Iron Warriors. We got some Far Strikes going off. Up, okay. I don't think anybody got killed by the Far Strikes yet. Actually, I think a Soulless probably got wiped out. Are they trying to etherealize these skeletons? Okay, we've got skeletons coming across the field. Oh boy. You better be doing something quick. Lots of buffs, far strikes happening. I think they're punching skeletons. Uh-oh. Not looking good for Team Nature buffs. Lots more buffs happening. Body ethereals, temper fleshes. Just absolutely etherealized across the board. Yeah, and Okakra has gotten an iron skin on themselves. Blade Wind, uh-oh. Okay, they're getting distracted by the skeletons. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna end well. They're casting Shatter. Interesting. Oh, Blade Wind going downtown. Oh, nope, didn't go far enough. Weapons of Sharpness, Magma Eruption, Luck. Unfortunately, I think the Communion Slaves are starting to build up the old fatigue, as it were. I do worry, and here come the meteors. The first Gifts from Heaven has been cast. The skeletons are thinning out as we're starting to run out of fatigue. Koramishe is actually at 7 hit points and has a disease for some reason. How did that happen? I need to look at that. What gave Koramishe... Aha! The Nagarishi hit the Koya with a single Far Strike for 5 points of damage. Hit him so hard he gave him a disease. Hit her, I'm sorry. Incredible. The Crystal Mages are pretty much fatigued out. The fatigue of the Communion... The fatigue power of this Communion is going well for them. They've got a, they've given themselves an Astral Shield just in case. More meteors falling. No hits yet. Couple more skeletons coming downtown. Getting blasted. Oh, we've got a Wild Conflagration cast. No meteor hits yet. Incinerate. I think all skeletons are off the field. And meteors. Alright, it's a meteor off now. Nope, more skeletons coming. Got some anti-undead spells being thrown on the skeletons. You guys are a little far apart for this, aren't they? I may have to, for round 2, I may have to adjust the distances closer in. But yeah, the skeleton strategy is not paying off. Unfortunately, the Communion Slaves are now dead. Yeah, the Communion Slaves, the Imperial Geomancers... got fatigued out and died. So now it's just a straight-up wizard off. And Okakra is deeply unconscious. These two guys are still conscious, so they're still rolling for right now. They have Weapons of Sharpness on themselves for some freaking reason. This might... I almost think this might go to turn timer, just because nobody is being very effective at killing each other. We got a lot of defensive buffs up. We got a lot of pretty low-impact spells being cast. Oh, we got a Far Strike cast. Meteor's not hitting. Here come the skeletons, though. Oh, the skeletons are piling up. They are trying to kill this Nagarishi, and skeletons trying to kill this Nagarishi are not going to have a good... Look at this shit. He's lucky. He's ethereal. He has 20 prot. He has moss body. He's enlarged. Yeah, so... And he's regenerating. And he has damage resistance. So, yeah, like... He's not gonna die. None of these people are gonna die to skeletons very easily. It will take a lot of skeletons to kill them. And I don't think the skeleton density necessary is gonna be here. It's sort of a question of whether a lucky meteor is gonna catch somebody. Because the skeletons are pretty much getting wiped out about as fast as they show up. We have taken some damage. Hermobol has taken a little bit of a scuffing. But I think this is just going to go to timer. At this point, there is not a definitive winner in the battle. Oh, that meteor came real close. And in fact, at the moment, the only team that's taken any casualties is Team Nature Buffs. Nature Buffs have lost their Communion Slaves. And yeah, the skeletons just keep chugging on out. It looks like we've got a rout. We've got the, I think the turn timer rout has kicked in. The armies of Celeria are routed, and so they do retreat. And that puts us in an interesting situation, because, of course, Celeria, as the attacker, did rout first. But they also were the only ones to inflict casualties. So that kind of reads to me like a draw. But a draw is really boring. So you know what we're going to do, actually? We're going to... We're going to back out. Yeah, the battle has already occurred. That's a shame. Okay. Yeah, I guess we're going to have to call that one, I guess we're going to have to call that one a draw. Neither side really overwhelmed the other. If we don't call that one a draw, then we'll just have to reset it and fight it again. And I don't really want to do that. So, match 1, point for each side, a draw. Nature buffs boost strength, and bird lovers both score a point there. That might screw up the grid going forward, since neither of these teams have technically been eliminated. Perhaps we'll replay that match later, in the second video of round 1, but for now, let's move on to match 2. In match 2, we have Foxy Dean's Retirement Home versus Surprise Me's Towering 10, and these are very similar, very, very similar teams. So, the Retirement Home of Foxy Dean is 13 Imperial Geomancers. The Imperial Geomancers, they have no items, they have no gems. 8 of them summon Earth Power, Communion Master, Earth Might, and then Farstrike, and 5 of them are Communion Slaves. Very simple, very straightforward, standing in the middle of the map, and just throwing out punches. Meanwhile, the Towering 10 of Surprise Me are 10 individual Imperial Geomancers set as far forward as they can be, scripted to summon Earth Power and then throw Farstrikes with 1 gem each to let them summon Earth Power without having to be in a communion. So this gang actually has more fist power. They have more Farstrikes available since there are 10 of them, and they will start 1 turn sooner. So let's see how that goes, shall we? We've got the attack coming in. Let's host it. Match 2. There was a battle in Land Arena. So we've got the Earth Powers coming down. Farstrikes. Lots of punching. No obvious fatalities immediately. Oh, there goes a couple deaths. These guys are dropping Earth Might on themselves. We have 1 runner. Chujiang is profusely bleeding and fleeing from the battlefield. Farstrikes are going off. Yen Di has been given a limp. He got punched right in his old man hip and is also fleeing the battlefield. The punches are flying ferociously on all sides. Oh no! No! The Retirement Home is broken. They're running. They're running for the hills. The Towering 10 have done it. They have outpunched their enemy. That's it. The fight's over. They're just throwing stuff at them now. They paralyzed a couple of them, I think. The armies of Argos Fale are routed. The Retirement Home is driven from the field. The Towering 10 stand 9 of them stand triumphant. One of their buddies has just run off with a broken hip, but he didn't make it off the field, and he did live. So that is a resounding victory for Surprise Me and the Towering 10. Definitely the superior punch gang of old men from Tianqi. Unfortunately, Tai Tsui Xing has died of a disease. Good on him. Okay, so we had 1 inconclusive match back at the start, but match 2 definitely, strongly finished. Now, the Towering 10 have proven their superiority for sure, and that means we have just 1 more match to do in this video, and that is the match between Margele's Celeria had the right idea, and Trunks, or TRHMC's Weeaboo Fightin' Mages and Cheerleaders. So, up here we have Celeria had the right idea, and this is, well, this is a team that's clearly, sort of, how do I put it? Sort of pushing back against the concept of this whole thing. This is 2 Koyas, each with a Heart of Life, so they have a ton of reinvigoration, and 1 Death Gem, and no script except to cast spells. And they're pushed a little bit back. I'm actually not going to push them that far back, given how far people have been starting. They do have to be within range, so we'll put them back in the middle, where they will be potentially punchable. Clearly the idea here is that these guys, these ladies, both start spamming skeletons as soon as the match starts, which, you know, it's not illegal, so fair enough. And on the other side, we have the Weeaboo Fightin' Mages. This is 7 Imperial Geomancers, each with a gem, each summoning Earth Power and then Far Striking, except instead of having, so, Surprise Me had 10 Geomancers set up this way. TRHMC has decided to go with 7 and has used his excess points to buy each of them several Blood Slaves, with the idea, I believe, that the Blood Slaves will serve as meat shields, because Blood Slaves have physical existence on the battle map. They act as units, and so they can absorb attacks, and they can distract, you know, other Far Strikes from coming in. So we'll see how this goes, and these guys are set up in a widely spread line. They were supposed to be set up as far forward as possible, if I recall, so let's go ahead and do that. Just there, and of course the Blood Slaves will spawn in between them. So, let's host and see how match number 3 goes. Alright, Battle in Land Arena. There we are. There we have the Weeaboo Fightin' Mages with their Blood Slaves. And on the other side, we have, Celeria had the right idea, Team Koya. Okay, we got some Earth Powers going up, we got some Body Ethereals happening. Oh, Invulnerability, interesting one, okay. So 25 protection against mundane attacks. I don't think that works against Far Strike. Let's see how the Far Strikes do. Okay, a whole bunch of Far Strikes went down. Looks like no damage to the Koyas. Did take out a couple of the skeletons. One of the Long Dead was punched to death. And yeah, Body Ethereal, Invulnerability, Body Ethereal, Invulnerability. Interesting. Well, that's a little bit weird. He prepared to cast Body Ethereal, but then cast Invulnerability instead, and then the first Horde of Skeletons. Okay, so more Far Strikes coming in. They're just missing. They can't quite hit the Koyas, and the skeletons are coming. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yep, and now the Far Strikes are focusing on the skeletons. We got some Body Ethereals going down. Flying Shards. We're off script. More Far Strikes. This isn't looking good, though, folks. I'll be honest, with this much skeleton power, I just don't know about this. There's just too many skeletons. They cannot be stopped. And these poor Ethereal Imperial Geomancers, I mean, they're doing their best, but damage is damage. Ethereality may reduce the damage incoming by 75% on average, but, make 75% of attacks miss. But there are simply too many skeletons on the field. And the dastardly, the sneaky and conniving Koyas of Margele have won match number 3 and will be advancing uncontested. How dare they? Alright, folks. That is matches 1 through 3 of the Punch Wizard tournament. I know this is obviously very ridiculous, but hopefully you're enjoying it a little bit. I've enjoyed setting this up, I'll be honest. I think it's really kind of fun. You can definitely see why Far Strike is not scripted very often. Not a very good spell. Gotta say. Too inaccurate. I would say the accuracy is probably the biggest problem we're seeing so far. If it had been a little bit more accurate, for example, then TRHMC might have been able to win this match if he had just landed a couple of those hits. But alas, the punches went everywhere except where the enemy was, and thus he was defeated. So, I'll see y'all in the next one. There's probably going to be like one more video of this, another, there'll be a round 2. I need to finish up round 1. There'll be a round 2. I just wanted to get this out today because we've been waiting on it for a little while. And we'll see how it goes. We will also, of course, I think I have to contemplate whether I'm going to let both nature buffs and bird lovers advance, or whether I'm going to have to refight that match in a different way and see if I can get somebody to actually definitively win it. But in any case, that's all we have time for today. Take care. I'll see y'all next time.